Hey guys, so Karaj Cricket here my video, and IPL 2020 is 14, 16, 15 days, whatever. Around that time, CSK was supposed to start training long time ago, and then all those confusions happened with the thing that's been in the news for last 6-7 months. So that's been there. Anyway, a couple of things that I want to really get off the bat because it's the IPL. Anyway, this is going to be one of the trickiest IPL for me to predict. Anyway, it's not a prediction video. I am because it's been so long after the auction. I don't remember who's been picked up by what team. So I'm actually inclined to do the starting 11s for each team before I actually start to realize, okay, how much, where can I put each team. See, the reason why I consider this to be a very tricky thing is that there are basically three nations who have played cricket, which is England, Australia, West Indies. I'm not exactly sure who from the test team is here, but because they have played in the CPL, they've got some kind of exposure. So whatever nations are there in the CPL, which is not a lot, because not a lot of the IPL player teams are there in the CPL. So that's there. The West Indies are playing well. There's England and Australia, which is I think it starts tomorrow, the T20 series. So that's gonna be there. So there are multiple factors here to consider. Number one is the fact that you're playing across three grounds. If you've been following the CPL, you would know that scores are actually on the. It started out getting to 150, 160, which is estimated par of the UAE anyway. So that's fine. As the tournament goes on, it starts to become the teams they're batting out 20 overs, but they're struggling to go past 100. So if you don't have power hitters, it's really defining the way you're putting up a total. So no issues for Sunrisers because they've defended 120 against Mumbai Indians, so 90 should be a walk in the park for them, or whatever that's phrased. So that's point number one. The fact that I'm just trying to say it's very tricky. So the fact that you're gonna play across the same conditions. So teams like I can see KKR, which are built pretty much on a pace-friendly team, are gonna struggle. Point number two, I'm not sure how much this will play into it, but the England, Australia, West Indies players will be in a much better I won't say mindset, but they're more physically ready to play than the Indians. I mean, you're saying guys who you would typically see as very motivated, like KL Rahul or Virat Kohli. These guys are coming out and saying, I'm not very feeling it. The net sessions they're starting out, so maybe towards the end of the week, towards the end of next week, they actually start playing well. Then it's something to decide. But as of now, it's gonna be how important your international players play. And that's major. And thing number three is physicality, where CSK is really going to struggle. And that's why they wanted to start early. And because they have not been allowed to start early, that's going to be a disability for them. Experience counts for something, but it's not as much as people make it to seem. You can't go around saying, okay, I've got the experience. If you've got the experience, what that basically tells you is that you've been in multiple scenarios. So you know that if you've done a bad decision in a particular scenario, you know that there's a right decision, which is the right decision you need to take. It helps the decision making process. But if your team isn't there as a physical presence, it's not gonna really count. See, you can hide one person, two people, that's all. You can't hide 11 people, and that's the issue with the team, because when you have youngsters, it pushes you to perform, or you need to be physically fit. And I don't see anybody in this team who's fit. Dhoni maybe, Faf's also quite old. Jadeja is always there. So Dhoni, Jadeja, I don't. Where are you going to put Jadeja? You're going to put Jadeja mid-wicket, long on. He's not going to be everywhere. You've got to start hiding people. And I am the last time I counted CSK out, they won the title. So I'm not too inclined on counting them out. I don't know why I made this into a predictions video, but it's CSK, so it's a fairly settled team. I could just go through the 11 in 2 minutes or something. So that's the whole point. This is just an intro, I would say, to the predictions. I should have done this with the predictions, come to think of it, but hey, that's what you get. So very interesting IPL, very tricky IPL to predict. I've never really done well with the predictions because T20 is such a fickle format that maybe physicality won't count for much, but you can never say. You are seeing teams that they're hard running teams and they're power hitting teams, and the power hitting teams are really dominating. Like Trinbago Knight Riders have experience, and they've got guys who are muscling the ball to different parts of the ground. They're doing well. At sometimes you're seeing guys can't chase down 92, 93. So there are aspects you want to see. I think initially you're going to see a lot of teams rack up big totals. As time goes on, it's going to be huge. I don't know how much dew plays a factor in the UAE. I never really watched a ton of UAE games, to be honest. You expect the pitches to slow up, so you're going to expect it'll be slow initially. It won't turn, but as time goes on and tournament moves on, you're going to see a lot of spin play a huge role, which is something that they're expecting. Anyway, down to the business and tournament, Raiна's pulled out, but Raiна's put a very intriguing statement saying that he may come back, which means another 21-day quarantine. So by the time he comes back, I wouldn't have seen the point of him going home, but he's got personal issues and we respect that, fam. So anyway, so how's the team going to play out? What did CSK need going in? They needed a top class all rounder, Pollard, Russell ability, and we ended up with Sam Curran. And the kind of cash we dished out for him, I'm not really sure what he offers. Sam Curran averages with a speed of 125 to 130. To put this into perspective, Chawla bowls 122, 2 balls per game on average. I mean, I've seen he bowls a no ball, the free hit is going to be 122k delivery. So you wanted someone to bowl 122, you could play Chawla, and Chawla scored. And if Curran's going to offer you batting, Chawla can offer you batting. He scored winning runs in the IPL final, to be fair. So that's going to count for something. So I don't know how the team's going to play out. Watson's a lock-in. Watson, even if he doesn't perform, he's a big game player, so he's got to play. So Watson's opening. The loss of Raina, do you play du Plessis? Do you want to shore up the batting front, or do you say batting wins matches, bowling wins tournaments? Do you want to shore up the bowling? So I've gone for bowling wins tournaments because that is the ideal thing, and Vijay not too inclined. You could easily play Faf because the other overseas spot that I'm giving, which Faf should have initially taken, is not something that I'm very convinced of. Number 3, I've heard some people say Dhoni. That is useless. Why? Dhoni is your only power hitter in the team, and you want to put him at 3. So 4 is Raidu. Raidu is going to stay there. Hopefully, Jadhav can play a season. If Jadhav can play a season, okay, the season's too much. Can he play a match? If Jadhav plays a match, CSK are in good state because he's our most expensive player. And what does he? He's played 3 matches across the last 4 seasons, 2 seasons. Wow. I mean, I could play that much, and I'm not in the best shape physically. So that's why you could think of some oldie. Watson plays an entire game. Why can't Jadhav play? Jadhav was part of the World Cup squad and he can't play a single IPL game. Why do you pay that much cash for him? I don't know. But Jadhav's your experienced player. You could play Jadhav there. Personally, I feel Jadeja could open, but no. So Jadhav 5, Bravo 6, Jadeja 7. You could swap that because Bravo's not been muscling the ball as much these days. And then I'm going for Thakur, Chahar permitted to returning 2 negatives, and Imran Tahir. You're not dropping your purple cap taker. The last international spot is what I'm choosing. I'm going between Curran, because you paid that kind of cash for him. If you're not going to play him, I don't see the point. You got Ingidi or Hazelwood, which means that you could always drop Thakur and then play another Indian spinner, Harbhajan, Chawla, Karan Sharma, right? Or there's this one Kiwi fellow who's turning up the CPL. He's turning the CPL alive with batting, bowling, but does the same as Jadeja. Fielder, bats better than Jadeja, I would say that for sure. He's definitely a bowling all-rounder, and he's been bowling super well. He's been bowling better than, he's been bowling, and that's got to count for something. So I'm inclined for Santner, so that's why I didn't go for du Plessis, and I feel Vijay has opened enough for CSK. He's got enough pedigree to open at the top, but that's that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. So please leave a like if you see, subscribe also, whatever. It's been so long that I'm forgetting my outro, but comments on the team. But CSK is a fairly settled team. You can probably expect what they're going to do. The loss of Raina isn't going to be huge. Yes, 3-4 seasons ago when he was scoring 500 runs, but now he's just offering you 400, which you could easily ask another bowler to take 15-16 wickets. That's what I feel. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like. I already said that. Peace, bye, see ya, goodbye, take care, stay home, stay safe, whatever.